riding. Pretty much no one else would probably even believe that he's had this recovery. That's the magnitude of the impact that this has.
Squeeze, 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 squeeze.
Dr. McDonald was so amazed by the finger movement that he began a study to see how much more I could accomplish with exercise.
Okay, now I'll try to push the forearm down.
First, I hope to get off the ventilator, and then to get control of bladder and bowels and sexual function, and then that would be the basis for being able to recover and get up and walk.
Pull, 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 pull it down, pull, 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 pull. Pull, 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 that's it. Now squeeze back, squeeze, 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 squeeze. And relax.
The most difficult thing to cope with over the last 6 years is simply the loss of physical contact with the human race. When I think about it, not to have, made love for 6 years is almost unbelievable. The fact that Will, who was almost 3 when I was hurt, he's never had a hug from me since. He's almost 9 now. And even down to just a handshake with someone, that really is the biggest loss out of all this. But I gotta tell you, your pitching is really steady, really nice.
Cut out that part of me striking out.
I went back to St. Louis a few months later for another evaluation by Dr. McDonald. Are we filming this?
Just kick him over.
That's the initial push that I wanted to show you.
The most impressive thing is on camera the beginning, because it's just, you can see the muscle contract.
That's why I wanted to show you the sudden innervation.
Try to extend that first finger again. Now try to lift it up. The first thing we do is we do an Asia examination, which is the gold standard in the field. And you basically assess motor function in the arms and the legs, how well you can move. I want you to try to go like this. And then sensation to both light touch and pinprick throughout the entire body. And this is 2.
The end of the second one felt like it was sharp.
Yeah, good. Since we've initiated that program, Chris has really recovered substantial function. First finger. Good. Thumb. Good. Middle finger. And he's moved from an Asia A classification to an Asia C classification. And this is on a scale from A to E, where E is normal. A is someone who has no function below the level of the injury. So initially, Chris was classified for the first 5 years as an Asia A. It's really never been reported someone having such a delayed recovery. So 5 years after the injury, all of a sudden to start changing Asia classifications is just really unheard of.
We do functional MRI testing to see where the movement's coming from.
So this is the left side, this is the right side of the brain, this is the front, this is the back.
The good news is that, for example, the command to move my finger has been proven to come from the correct part of the brain. The next step was to try something radically different.
Man, that's hot in your room.
I hadn't been in a swimming pool since 1995. I've always been at home in the water as a scuba diver. I sailed all my life. I love the water. It's something that I've really missed.
No surf today.
Why we use a pool in rehabilitation is that essentially it takes gravity out of the equation. So a lot of Chris's movements can be easily visualized and practiced in a pool that you can't do, with normal gravity involved. He's never had an opportunity to ever be in a pool. Psychologically, it's an amazing thing to be able to be in there.
The clear tubes are longer than that. Who would have thought that, Christopher Reeve, a person who is vein-dependent, quadriplegic, could go in the pool and do exercise? There was never any meeting as to how we would do it. We just did it.
Okay, Chris?
It's been a while.
In 1995.
1995, huh? We're going to sway a little bit, loosen you up, okay?
It's nice. What was really remarkable was their staff in St. Louis asked me and our staff, what do you want to do? So we said, well, let's see what happens if I sit and see if I can kick my legs. What was remarkable is that I kicked both legs in spite of the fact that I had 5-pound ankle weights on each leg.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness, Jesus. The first time that we saw him move his legs, you know right there that just a little help from science for a cure is that these people like Chris could really walk it out of their chairs and lead a normal life again.
What I deeply appreciated about it is that over the last 5.5 years, I've been exercising, and I've gotten movement just by trying things, trying to move my legs, trying to move my arms, trying to breathe. And I'm very grateful that Dr. McDonald and his staff are willing to help me go further rather than saying, no, you're on a ventilator, you're a high risk, what if something happens? You know, what if we're the people who drowned Christopher Reeve? Well, world reaction might be mixed, you know, 50% for and 50% against. Good, you finally finished him off, that'll shut him up.
Push. One more. Push.
Yeah, I like that. That was better.
I was very encouraged by what happened in St. Louis, but I know that a full recovery will require a combination of exercise and science. And I think the most promising approach to a cure is the use of stem cells. And while some conditions can be treated by adult stem cells, my hopes are pinned on cells derived from human embryos, which is a very controversial issue.
President Bush is about to address the nation and announce what may be the most important decision of his young presidency. It is certainly the most controversial.
Embryonic stem cell research offers both great promise and great peril. So I have decided we must proceed with great care.
Stem cells hold a lot of promise for medical research. Scientists say they can potentially manipulate these cells to be almost anything and attack disease in many parts of the body.
This is very, very painful to me because I believe that if we'd had full government funding of embryonic stem cells, then done the research right when they were discovered, by now we might be in human trials. And instead, the whole thing's just a political football being kicked around. Well, today, on my 49th birthday, I'm really glad that all three of my, I was going to say kids, but I can't say that anymore, because two are so grown up that it's frightening. And then there's one little one, Will, runs around, and he's a kid.
Not exactly aerobic exercise.
We're going to have sushi, we're going to hang out, and we're going to enjoy being together, and that is present enough for me. That's all I need.
Happy birthday, dear Daddy. Happy birthday to you.
Yeah.
I don't think you would have blow all these out.
Oh my God, if I can
Some
blow
of them
it.
are sparkling.
They catch on fire.
If you blow one out, we'll do the rest. One a little closer. Oh, yay! Okay.
I guess I perceive myself as a person who's been given a position of responsibility that is important, but I must admit is sometimes unwanted. I realize that I'm in a position to make a contribution.
Resolve to move forward, and the Christopher Reeve Paralysis Foundation remains steadfast and passionate in its mission to find a cure for paralysis caused by spinal cord injury.
When we're able to help out with legislation, or we're able to use the media to bring awareness to the public about what's going on in terms of research, when we're able to give people hope, even just if I